Hi, it's Kim here. Today I'm going to talk about how white people really don't care about racism. They just refuse to see it. We white people in America live a giant lie, and we do a great job at it too. We just go right along with it, just pretending we don't see it. We just don't see racism. There's no liberty and justice for all in America, and we know it. White people know it, but they just keep the act up, pretend they don't know. They don't want to face the truth. So they just pretend we live in this great country that affords liberty and justice for everybody. And they know it's not to everybody. They know it's not. You look at the Charlotte protesters. What do white people do when they see them? Oh my God, a black person's protesting. Oh my God, this is awful. Look at them. Look what they're doing. How about this? How about think about why they're protesting? Why are they protesting? Why are you, as a white person, more worried about how they're protesting than what they're protesting? You just you sit there and look at them and think, oh, those thugs are protesting again. We all know that thug is a code word for. We know what it's a code word for, and you do too. Okay? You don't care because you'd rather focus on them getting upset than why they're upset. When Kaepernick protests the national anthem by sitting, what do white people do? They focus on this horrible man. Oh my God, he's so disrespectful. Oh, I hope they kick him off the team. I hope he gets punished. I hope his sponsors drop. Because he dared to actually non-violently, peacefully protest. This black man dared to do that. And all you can think about is how horrible the guy is because he's being disrespectful to the military, because he won't stand up for the racist national anthem. This guy made it. He's a famous football player who's basically really rich. He should be thankful. I mean, you white people don't get it, and you don't want to get it, and it makes me enraged. You just can't fathom the idea that maybe Kaepernick actually gives a shit about other people. He actually cares that there's inequality to the extent that there's institutionalized racism in our country. We live in a society of white supremacy, and you don't even care. Just keep focusing on all these horrible people. You know, here's the thing. A black person can protest non-violently and peacefully, and you still focus on the protest. A black person can protest violently, having riots, etc., and you still focus on the protest. Why don't you just admit you don't give a shit? So, Kaepernick, out of just pure, like being a role model, the guy is respectful to the military. So he says, look, he talks into the camera on the TV cameras and says, I'm going to just kneel with one leg down to show that he tells people this. So what do white people do? They don't give a shit. They still don't give a shit because God forbid they actually have to focus on racism in their cute little white worlds. We've had centuries of it, and they don't want that to change, and they certainly don't want to think about it. White people, would you please take 1 second out of your life to give a shit? Just 1 second. To think that maybe all these people actually have a point, and how could they possibly be doing, maybe they're doing something because they actually are, they're being hurt, they're being harmed, and we're harming them. So while all this is going on with Kaepernick, white people are just, practically happy about it because before that, all they had to do for their worries was think about if they had clean sheets for the next Trump rally. Now they can focus on this indignant football player who's rich, who isn't thankful enough. Would you take 2 seconds out of your day, just 2 seconds, and stop denying racism? And just think about it. These are people around us who are every single day in and day out, they're being harmed by this, but you don't give a shit. Do you realize that 16 black people have died at the hands of police since Kaepernick decided to, God forbid, kneel down and protest white supremacy? That was 4 weeks ago. But it's not just about black people being murdered by police. It's about the everyday injustices that make sure that black people know they're second-class citizens, always have been, and always will be. And I'm sorry. I blame the white people who do nothing. Don't tell me you don't see it. You do nothing. Princeton University study. Okay? Princeton goes out and does this year-long study with hundreds of people, having white people go out and try to get a job and black people go out and try to get a job. Okay? Same qualifications, they're entry-level jobs, and what do the white people have on their resume that the black people don't? They have felony conviction. Guess who got the job? Guess who got more jobs more easily? Even with a felony conviction, a white person over a black person is slightly more likely to get a job. Okay, but tell me again, there's racism. They just want something free, right? All the black people, they just want like a free handout. Did you know that Toyota, the Toyota company, it's like, world known company. They got sued this year and they had to pay millions of dollars to people who sued them. It's a class action suit because they were charging hundreds and hundreds of dollars more to the black people, and the white people were actually getting a better deal. And this was over time. They lost. They had to pay out. Okay, black kids, when they go in with appendicitis into the hospital, these are doctors and nurses. They have appendicitis. It's extremely painful. Okay? They get, across the board, they get less pain medication than white kids do with the same damn disorder. They're in agony. I mean, this stuff's subconscious. You think, I hope it's subconscious. I hope doctors and nurses aren't actually keeping children in pain. I mean, it better be subconscious. White people, they don't want to talk about it. They don't want to face it. Most of them don't even want to say it exists. I will never, ever understand or relate to someone who can see their fellow human being suffering and do nothing. I get it. You just don't see it, right? You just don't see the racism. Thanks for listening.